Hello and welcome back after a long delay. Finally managed to get some more videos done. I have been working in the months and months since the last update, but just not as much, and to be honest, I've been running trains more than anything else, and we've been doing a lot of alterations in the house as well, so I've been doing a lot of DIY leading up to Christmas, and then it's Christmas and before you know where you are, a quarter of the year's gone already. Also, I've been putting this job off for, well, forever basically. Okay, before we get into where I am now, I've got to say a big thank you and congratulations to Mike Hawkins, who is one of my subscribers, who pointed out that on the very last video I did, which was fitting a stay alive capacitor, he actually made a mistake, and I got the diode the wrong way around when I was putting the capacitor and the diode inside the locomotive. And if you look at the video carefully, you will see it's the wrong way around. Now the thing is, Mike is the only person who pointed this out, but I knew about it, and I thought I might sneak it past you all, because when I was editing the video I thought, hang on a minute, the diode's the wrong way around. So I basically thought, well, see if anyone notices, or hopefully no one will notice. But Mike Hawkins did, so well done Mike. If it was a prize I would send you it, but there isn't, so never mind, but thank you anyway. But just bear that in mind. Make sure you get the polarity of the capacitor and the diode correct, because they're both polarized components. So well done Mike. I have highlighted his comment on that video just so everyone knows. So just a quick recap. Phase 1, long time ago now, was completing the station area, which is this bit here. That's phase 1, which I did relatively quickly a long time ago now. And then phase 2 was continuing the station, the mainline loop around the outside of the loft, which I did fairly easily because that was just a twin track all the way around. Phase 3 is the goods line, which is a folded figure 8, which you'll know about if you've seen my earlier videos. It goes down there, then it goes underneath, and that's where I stopped for a while because I got rather fed up. So phase 4 was supposed to be storage tracks. It's actually something I considered when I built the layout. In my naivety, I didn't think about fiddly yards and storage tracks. I don't know why, it didn't cross my mind. I always had something in the back of my mind, so that's phase 4. Phase 5 was supposed to be the branch line, which is at a lower level. The branch line is actually at this height here, but it does join on to the goods line, just so there's some continuity there, so you can get locomotives from the main line station down at the branch line. But that was always going to be the last phase. So I'm going to attempt to do the storage tracks now, and the storage track is actually going to be underneath the station area, which is this bit here, basically on this level here, but underneath. As you can see, there's not a lot of headroom, and it's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to have to tidy up all the wiring to get it out of the way so it's none of it snagged, and then put my design inside here, which will involve a lot of contorting. Well, before then, of course, I've got to tidy up, because doing the goods line created a lot of mess. There's wood and sawdust everywhere. There's piles and piles of just boxes and tools and cables. It's basically a mess, so there's going to be a lot of tidying up to do, because what I need to do, I need to clear everything that's underneath here out, so I'll be able to get in to do the woodwork and the wiring. Now, as you can see in this drawing from any rail, this is the ambitious plan for the storage. It's to have a wear-in which will come off the branch line. It comes off the branch line, and then it splits off and goes down underneath the main station to the storage tracks. I've got I think it's 10 storage tracks with a through road through the middle. The idea is I can store complete trains made up in the tracks. Obviously shorter ones on the outside, but locomotives could actually come through the centre track and come out the other side, go around the loop, and come out again, and they've turned around. So the reversing loop will be for turning trains round as well. And because I'm going to be turning, I want the ability to turn all the trains round. That's going to be 21-inch curves. I'm not doing anything smaller than 21 inches, which is should be okay for just about everything, I think. And obviously, with it being a reversing loop, I'll have to fit a reversing loop module as well. So there's a lot of track, a lot of extra points, reversing loop, a lot of wiring to do. The biggest problem though is I should have done that before I did the main line. It's going to be much harder to retrofit underneath all this mess. Move all the mess and then wire it all up. I have measured it up, and hopefully it'll fit just. I'm probably going to have to do some modifications to this part of the layout because of the loop, because it's a giant 21-inch loop. The way it reverses round, it comes round back to here. I'll probably have to do some slight modifications, move some of the supports, which you can see here for the goods line. I might have to move some of them, or do it in a slightly different way. So yeah, I've given myself more work, but that's what we're doing. Learning all the time. It would have been easy to do this first and then do the station in the main line on top. So bit of a task, but just got to get on with it really. See if I can do it. Could be tricky, but it's definitely necessary. I am keen to have the ability to turn a complete train around. I think that will be very useful, especially for operation. And in common with a few other guys on YouTube, I'm not really interested in the shunting aspect, so I won't be having a TMD or anything. I love to look at a TMD, but I don't think I'll be building one. I'll just like to see the trains going around, to be honest, and changing tracks. And I've enjoyed running trains on the goods line actually, because of the length and the fact that it's on 2 levels, and the way it comes back into the station. I've enjoyed that probably the most, whereas trains on the main line just go round and round. So everyone has different things. Some people love shunting, but it's not for me. I've got a lot of shunters because I really like the Class 8 shunters, but I don't think I'll be doing a lot of shunting, and I'm not going to do a TMD. So that's where we're up to. So hopefully we're going to finish the track first before we start any of the scenic treatment. I just want to get all the track work out of the way. And it's quite a big job. The storage tracks are going to take ages, a lot of work. Because it's in a confined space as well. It's got to be spot on the track work. I don't want any derailments underneath. So it'll be lit up. There's going to be video cameras in, so I can keep an eye on what's happening. So yeah, it's a lot of work. So get that done, and then we'll get the branch line, which is quite small in reality. There's going to be a small branch line station just sort of sticking out here where this tripod is. Just a couple of roads. And I'll have pedestrian access to the main line station up there. That's the plan. Get that done, and then I can actually focus and concentrate on everything else. So several hours later, I've cleaned, I've hoovered, moved a lot of boxes into storage, and I've cleaned space underneath the main station now. There's the plywood. That's roughly the length of it from that beam where it's resting on the beam, right along there. It is slightly long. I'm going to have to move that leg that's sticking down for the storage tracks, and then the reversing loop will come out, and it'll probably curve back in just where that coil of cable is, on the left of that coil of cable, and it'll be underneath. I have tidied the wires up underneath. As you can see, they're still not very neat. What I'm going to have to do is drop the storage tracks. I did want to keep it this level. I'm going to have to go a bit lower. I've worked out using a 2% slope to get into the storage area. I can probably get down to the bottom of this wood, which gives us enough clearance. We only need 65mm clearance for double O, so that should be okay. But obviously none of this is going to help installation. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare doing it now. For example, I've already taken, you may have noticed, I've taken a few legs out. I've taken, I think, 3 legs out already, and I'm going to have to move that one, so there'll be some bracing and some extra legs to put in. But you know, I like to make things difficult for myself. So the locomotives basically come round here, and then along there, round the loop, and then back out again. That's the plan. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you know that I use any rail a lot. I'm actually up to version 72 now of my layout. I tend to change the number every time I do a major change. I increment the number. Anyway, so this is going to be the storage tracks underneath the station. As you can see, the trains can come in here, which is off the branch line and goods line. I'll show you in a moment. Then they come down. It's slightly down on an incline, very slight incline, because every single train obviously has got to be able to make the incline, so it's going to be 2% maximum, and that'll give us a bit of height as well underneath the station. There's not a lot of clearance, so I'm going to leave the centre track, this one, clear, so a locomotive or a train can come in through the centre and go straight through around the reversing loop and back out again. The idea being that it'll enable me to turn the train around, which I think will be useful, to turn an entire train around. The centre track here is about 2.8 metres, so that's quite long, and there's 9 storage tracks altogether. Obviously the outside ones are quite short, so that can be used for some shorter freight trains, but I still should be able to get, I think, possibly 3 or 4 complete HST length trains. HST is the longest train I'm probably going to run, which is just about, I think it's just under 2 metres altogether, with 5 coaches and the power cars at either end. I'm not going to run anything longer than that. The station I designed is intended for 5 coaches, so that should be the maximum length. It makes it very tight under here. This curve here, if I remember rightly, I'll just click on there so I can see, it says, yeah, if you look on at the bottom, it says radius 533 millimeters, and I've got a little list of radii here. 533 millimeters is 21 inches, as you can see there, which is between the 3rd and 4th radius for Hornby Pico set track, so that's not too small. That's still pretty decent, and all the locomotives I've got should be able to get around there. So that's a reversing loop. Obviously I'll also have to buy a reversing loop device to do the switching. I've been looking at different ones. I didn't know anything about it, so I've been doing some research, and a digital one seems the best way to go. It's got the fastest switching rather than using a one with relays. So yeah, so that's the storage tracks, and if I click on the goods line now, this is the goods line, which is already in place, remember. So it's the folded figure 8. There's the bit under there. This is where it joins the main station. This is a slightly elevated bit at the back of the station. So you can see the goods line, and then the branch line, which will be the very last part of the layout. This is the branch line. These points already exist. These 2 points exist here and this one. So all I've got to do is add this point here, and then the track downwards to the storage tracks underneath. If I put everything in, put all the lines in, the main line, the branch line, it looks crazy, which it probably is crazy. That's a lot of railway. So this is why I'm not doing anything really. There's it's a lot of work to get this in, to squeeze this in. And as I said earlier, it would have been much easier if I'd started at the lower level with the branch line, which is this light blue, and then the storage tracks here. If I'd started and then worked my way up, it would be much easier to do the storage tracks first. But we live and learn. I never actually considered it, so we live and learn, as I say. I'm in 2 minds whether that I will do the branch line straight afterwards, partially I want to do it to get it out of the way so all the track is done, and then I can actually start working on making the railway look like a railway. So that's the storage tracks. The grey bit, by the way, is the plywood base that it's going to be on. What's going to happen is this part here, which I'm just highlighting there, that is a transition track between code 75 and code 100. It's cheaper to buy code 100 point work, especially when you've got this much to go on the storage tracks, and use this transition track. So down here is code 75, and then it changes to code 100, which a lot of the guys do. It seems a sensible thing, and I worked out it's going to save me 50 quid or something, so it was worth it. So there's a zoomed in view. There's the transition track there, that tiny little piece there. It's a Pico SL113, the transition from code 75 to 100. I also like to keep this handy as well. A radii list. The Hornbeam Pico first, second and third radii are listed there, and the other radii, 18, 21, 24 and the rest, are track setter radii, which you get, and the reversing loop is going to be 21 inches, 533 millimeters if we move over to here. So that's the plan. So 21 inches should be enough for most of my locomotives to get round, I think. Right, I think we'll leave it there. You're not going to see a lot of trains running, I think, for a while until I can get this sorted. But I've got to say as well, by the way, there's a new YouTube channel that Charlie at Chadwick Model Railway mentioned, and I had a look and subscribed. It's called Sandling Junction. Sandling Junction. Looks like he's got a brilliant plan, and it looks like he's the sort of guy who pays a very high attention to detail based on his previous work on that, and he is an artist as well, so check that out. Sandling Junction. It's not my recommendation really, it's Charlie from Chadwick Model Railway, who I also love to watch, so check that out, and I'll be back soon with another update. We'll try and make them a bit quicker this time.